Take off your left sock right now. Look at the exact ring where the elastic band gripped your skin all day. Press your thumb firmly into the flesh about 3 inches above your ankle bone. Hold it there for 15 seconds. Now lift your thumb. If you are staring at a pale, sunken crater in your leg that takes 30 seconds, a minute, or even 5 minutes to level out, you need to stop whatever you are doing. What you are looking at is not a salt problem. It is not an aging problem. And contrary to what almost every person over the age of 60 is told in the examination room, in 70% of cases, it is not a heart problem. You are looking at a mechanical drainage failure. Your tissues are quietly drowning in their own cellular waste. Right now, there is likely half a liter, maybe a full liter, of stagnant fluid trapped within the loose connective tissue matrix of your lower legs. Tonight, when you lie flat in bed, that trapped fluid is going to initiate a biological chain reaction that ruins your sleep architecture, burdens your renal system, and accelerates cardiovascular wear and tear. You will likely be prescribed a diuretic, a water pill. You will spend your entire day running to the bathroom, dehydrating your bloodstream, while your ankles remain heavily swollen. The pill fails because it treats the wrong fluid compartment. A diuretic pulls water from your blood. But the water suffocating your ankles is not in your bloodstream. It has escaped. It is locked in the interstitial spaces. Let us dissect exactly what is failing inside your leg and outline the precise 5-minute mechanical protocol you must execute before bed tonight to drain this reservoir. Your body operates on 2 entirely separate plumbing networks. You only ever hear about the first one. Your cardiovascular system. Arteries push oxygenated blood out. Veins pull deoxygenated blood back. This system has a massive, tireless engine driving it. Your heart, it beats 100,000 times a day, forcing fluid through the pipes whether you are sprinting or sleeping. But there is a second network, the lymphatic system. This is your cellular sewage line. Every day, about 2 liters of clear, pale yellow fluid leaks out of your microscopic blood capillaries. This fluid, called lymph, washes over your cells, collecting dead bacteria, discarded proteins, and metabolic ash. It must be suctioned back up through a completely distinct set of vessels called lymphatic capillaries, transported up your legs and dumped back into your bloodstream near your collarbone. Here is the fatal design flaw nobody warns you about. The lymphatic network has no heart. It has no motor. Zero. The only way this fluid moves upward against gravity is through mechanical compression. Think of your lymphatic vessels as a vertical conveyor belt that only turns on when you physically step on the pedal. Every time your calf muscle contracts, every time you flex your ankle, the muscle belly bulges, squeezing the fragile lymphatic vessels and forcing the fluid upward through tiny one-way valves. If you stop moving, the belt stops. Period. Consider what happens between 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock tonight. You finish dinner, you sit in your favorite chair to watch television. For 3 consecutive hours, your calf muscles are completely dormant. You are upright, so gravity is pulling downward with maximum force, increasing the hydrostatic pressure inside your leg veins. Fluid continuously seeps out of your capillaries into the tissue space, but because your muscles are paralyzed by the chair, the lymphatic conveyor belt is dead. The fluid simply pools. 1 teaspoon at a time, the tissue saturation climbs. Your skin feels tight. Your shoes begin to bite into your flesh. By 10 o'clock, the reservoir is full. Then you go to bed. You lie flat. Suddenly, the relentless downward pull of gravity vanishes. The massive volume of water trapped in your ankles is finally free to slowly migrate back into your central circulation. Your blood volume suddenly spikes in the middle of the night. Your heart detects this unexpected flood and sends an emergency signal to your kidneys. Your kidneys shift into maximum overdrive, frantically filtering this excess fluid into urine. 2 hours later, you are awake. You stumble to the bathroom in the dark. 2 hours after that, you are awake again. You think you have a bladder issue. You do not. You have a lymphatic drainage issue that is treating your kidneys like a flood spillway at 2 in the morning. We must now dissect the 3 invisible biochemical forces actively destroying your lymphatic drainage. The first is hidden sodium. I am not referring to the salt shaker on your dining table. That is a distraction. The real threat is the stealth sodium chemically fused into aged cheeses, preserved deli meats, and commercially canned broths. Sodium dictates the osmotic pressure across your cellular membranes. When you swallow a single slice of heavily cured meat, you are injecting an aggressive, water-binding solute directly into your circulatory system. Your body, desperate to maintain a highly specific serum osmolality, forces water out of the vascular space and into the interstitial tissue to dilute that salt concentration. The physics of this are unforgiving. For every single gram of excess sodium trapped in your tissue matrix, your body forcibly retains approximately 4 cups of water. You are not just swollen, you are chemically locking your lower extremities into a state of chronic fluid retention. The second destructive force operates in total silence: albumin deficiency. Albumin is a dense, complex protein synthesized by your liver. It represents the bulk of the protein circulating in your blood. You must understand albumin's mechanical function. It acts as a massive microscopic sponge. It generates what clinicians call oncotic pressure, the absolute magnetic force required to hold water inside your blood vessels. Many adults over the age of 60 unknowingly drift into a state of subclinical protein malnutrition. You eat less meat, you skip eggs. Your liver slows its synthetic output. Consequently, your blood albumin levels drop. The moment that happens, the oncotic pressure inside your veins collapses. Your blood physically loses its grip on its own water content. The fluid follows the path of least resistance, seeping through the semi-permeable walls of your capillaries and sinking straight into the gravitational basin of your ankles. Incorporating just 2 highly bioavailable protein sources daily, such as wild-caught fish, organic eggs, or fermented lentils, is not a dietary suggestion. It is a mathematical requirement to rebuild the oncotic pressure gradient. The third mechanism of failure is the structural decay of your endothelial walls. Your lymphatic capillaries are not rigid pipes. They are constructed from a microscopic, overlapping layer of endothelial cells, held together by a fragile collagen matrix. They rely entirely on structural elasticity to function. Without a daily aggressive influx of natural flavonoids, this matrix degrades. Flavonoids are the dark, bitter pigments found in blackberries, buckwheat, and the thick rinds of citrus fruits. They act as the biological mortar for your vascular walls. When you deprive your body of these compounds, the lymphatic vessels stiffen. More critically, the delicate one-way valves inside these vessels begin to warp. They fail to form a tight seal. When a lymphatic valve leaks, the entire mechanical system fails. The lymph fluid falls backward toward the floor with every step you take, rather than being pushed up toward your torso. A daily intake of raw, dark berries is a direct structural intervention. It tightens the valves and seals the microscopic leaks in the capillary walls. Let us establish a critical diagnostic boundary right now. You must know exactly what you are treating. Symmetrical swelling that worsens in the evening and improves by morning is the hallmark of lymphatic pooling. But if your swelling is accompanied by a sudden, terrifying inability to catch your breath when you lie down, if you wake up gasping for air as if you are drowning, that is cardiac strain. If you gain 5 pounds in a single week and your urine resembles thick foam, your kidneys are actively spilling protein. Those are medical emergencies requiring immediate clinical intervention, not a home protocol. However, if your heart echocardiogram shows a normal ejection fraction and your kidney panels return clean, yet your ankles still swell every evening, you are trapped in pattern 2. The lymphatic pattern, the tissue surrounding your ankle bones, particularly the loose dermal layers right behind your toes, becomes permanently saturated. If this stagnation continues uninterrupted for years, the skin on the top of your foot will undergo a fibrotic change. It becomes so thick and hardened that you can no longer pinch it into a tent between your thumb and index finger. Clinicians call this a positive stemmer sign. It is the undeniable physical proof that your lymphatic system has abandoned its post. Your tissues are no longer just holding water, they are beginning to scar. We must now reverse the physics of this stagnation. This is not about swallowing another chemical to artificially manipulate your renal system. It is about executing a precise, 5-minute mechanical protocol to forcibly extract the fluid out of your tissue matrix and pump it back into the central drainage line. I want you to memorize 3 distinct steps. Every single parameter is non-negotiable. Step 1, the thoracic duct activation. Tonight, exactly 90 minutes before you intend to go to sleep, you are going to manipulate gravity. Lie completely flat on the floor or on your mattress. Slide your hips all the way to the wall and extend your legs straight up. You must achieve a strict 90-degree angle. Your heels must be positioned significantly higher than your hips, and your hips must rest higher than your heart. Remain locked in this inverted position for 15 unbroken minutes. During this window, you must engage your primary biological suction mechanism. Place both hands flat against your bare stomach. Inhale deeply and aggressively through your nose, forcing your belly to rise and push against your hands. Your chest should barely move. Execute this diaphragmatic breathing for 3 continuous minutes. Why? Because the largest drainage vessel in your entire lymphatic network, the thoracic duct, sits immediately beneath your diaphragm. Every time you take a deep, belly-driven breath, the physical expansion of your lungs creates a vacuum-like negative pressure inside your chest cavity. It acts as a massive biological syringe, violently suctioning the stagnant lymph out of your lower extremities, pulling it up through your abdomen, and dumping it safely into your subclavian vein. Step 2, the manual evacuation. After your 15 minutes of inversion, carefully roll onto your side and sit up. Your lower legs are now primed. You are going to perform a simplified, aggressive version of manual lymphatic drainage. Place the flat pads of your fingers directly against the skin, just above your ankle bone. Press firmly inward, but do not press hard enough to bruise the underlying tissue. Slowly and deliberately stroke the skin upward, tracing the hard line of your shin bone all the way toward your kneecap. Perform exactly 10 sweeping strokes on the left leg, then 10 strokes on the right leg. The vector of movement is critical. You must always sweep upward, directly toward the heart. Never drag your hands downward. If you push the fluid down toward your foot, you are mechanically crushing and destroying the fragile one-way valves we are desperately trying to repair. This physical shearing force mechanically wrings the trapped fluid out of the dermal layers and forces it straight into the collecting vessels. If you execute these 2 steps correctly, within 10 minutes of standing up, your bladder will send a sudden, sharp signal. You will walk to the bathroom and void 300 to 400 milliliters of pale urine before your head even hits the pillow. That is the exact volume of stagnant water that would have triggered your kidneys and woken you up at 2 o'clock in the morning. You have preemptively drained the lower reservoir while you were still awake and entirely in control. Step 3, the morning primer. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, do not immediately throw your legs over the edge of the mattress. Your lymphatic conveyor belt has been completely shut down for 8 straight hours. If you stand up cold, the sudden shift in gravity immediately forces blood plasma back down into your unprotected calves. Before your bare feet ever touch the floorboards, perform 30 rapid ankle pumps. Point your toes straight down toward the foot of the bed, then aggressively flex them backward, pulling the toes toward your face. 30 times. It takes exactly 45 seconds. This simple muscular contraction forcefully re-engages the calf muscle pump, flushing out any residual overnight accumulation and tightening the lymphatic valves before you bear your full body weight. The biological reality of aging is brutal, but it is highly predictable. Your lymphatic system has lost its youthful, snap-back elasticity. It will not magically heal itself while you sit motionless in a recliner for 3 hours every evening. No amount of generic, well-intentioned, healthy eating or aggressive water restriction is going to fix a broken mechanical pump. A prescription diuretic cannot squeeze your calf muscle. It cannot repair a leaking capillary valve. It can only artificially dehydrate your blood volume, leaving your ankles just as swollen, your tissues just as saturated, and your body completely exhausted. You hold the power to dictate the physical environment of your lower extremities. You can continue trusting a daily chemical pill to solve a purely physical plumbing failure. You can watch the skin on the top of your foot grow thicker, harder, and darker as the years pass by. Or you can take control of the physiological physics. 5 minutes of deliberate mechanical intervention. That is the absolute cost of admission to wake up with ankles that look the exact same as they did the night before. Before we close this case file, I need specific data from you to guide my next clinical investigation. What is your exact age and what city are you watching from right now? Drop those two pieces of demographic information in the comments below. The exact age profile of this audience dictates which cellular decay mechanism I dissect next week. And if you have a spouse, a parent, or a lifelong friend who is currently swallowing a daily water pill while their legs continue to swell, send them this video link immediately. They are being treated for the wrong disease. Give them the harsh, objective explanation that nobody in a white coat took the time to provide.